Hello, it's time for another Mad Merlins unboxing. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Mad Merlins unboxing. I'm not going to do a too long-winded intro because of the main reason that the box we're looking at is a bit too big to put on screen at the moment. We're going to be looking at the brand new Kill Team box Tomb World for, well, Kill Team by Games Workshop. So as usual, don't forget to like this video if you're enjoying the content, subscribe if you want to see more, and drop me a comment down below what you're looking forward to most. I'm planning to do some videos to follow on from this. I want to do the terrain and at least something from each of the two kill teams. Let me know what you want to see. Kind of hard to do much choice for the Deathwatch veterans. It's mainly the same but with different weapons and chapter symbols. So I'll also show you how to just paint basic armor, I think, for them. For the Necrons, there's quite a few new pieces. We've got the Reanimator drones, we've got the Tomb Crawler, which is a heavy weapon platform, the Geomancer herself, which looks a fantastic model. I have heard she's a bit fiddly to put together and very delicate when actually built due to poor contact points. We'll see how that comes along. And we've got the new Warrior drones as well as a batch of basic Necron warriors for use as NPOs. And yeah, as I said, I'll do the terrain as well because that's a lovely set of terrain. Really an improvement over the Gallodark stuff. I've seen that stuff, never built it, but have heard from people who have built it, and they said it's probably some of the worst terrain they've had to build and put together. So yeah, this is definitely better, and it looks just awesome as well. Finally then, I couldn't be doing this video without warbay.shop. I bought this through Disc Games, who are partners with warbay.shop, and yeah, I picked this box up at a brilliant price. So if you're wanting one for yourself, they might have a couple left, I'm not too sure. It has gone back up for availability on Games Workshop website at the full RRP, so you might be able to pick up some from other retailers. Check out, there's a link as usual in the video description, and see if they've got one or two in stock. You might be able to get yours at a bit of a bargain. Right then, let's head to the table and we'll dive into this brand new box. So here we are, the brand new Kill Team Tomb World box, and yeah, as I said, it's a pretty hefty box. I'll bring in my range ruler. You can see if we go to the very bottom of the box, it's just over 6 inches chunky. And 12, about 17 inches in width. So yeah, a very hefty box. So let's flip her around and look at the back so we can see what we get. We'll zoom in a bit. So we get, of course, a brand new Kill Team dossier, full colour rulebook with both rules for both teams, plus the new terrain, as well as games for using the NPOs, combined teams data sheet tokens. So we've got all the tokens for the two teams on one board, and we also get assembly instructions, Kill Team card packs, so the Deathwatch cards, the Canoptic Circle cards, and the Tomb World event cards. 31 new models, 2 full Deathwatch teams of 10 operatives. So yeah, you can only take 5 at a time, but we get 2 squads of 5 in the box, which can build a total of 11 different operatives. So when it comes to the Gravis guy, you're going to have to decide one of 3 different variants, or 2 of 3 different variants, on what you want to build. And then you've got 2 variants of Phobos, 3 different Power Armor Tacticus Marines to do. Over 6 in total, I believe. It's different ones you can do over the course of the 2 throughs of 5. So yeah, very awesome looking models. We get the full Canoptic Circle kill team of 8 operatives. So 2 Tomb Crawlers, the Geomancer, the Reanimator, And then the remaining 4 operatives are the warrior drones. We also get a set of warriors and scarabs for MPOs. Then finally we get a board and a set of terrain. So yeah, really cool. I've got a tomb spider crawling up the side of my box. So yeah, let's cut the tape. We can flip the box over again. And we can actually see what we have to deal with. Right, there we go. Quite a lot of stuff. So what do we have first off? Well, we've got the accessory sprue for the Tomb World. So 2 teleportation pads. Got some broken pieces of the scenery, the pillars and such. Then we got this awesome Necron crypt with a lord asleep inside. That's really cool. Can't wait to paint that piece. So we've got 2 identical frames here of the kill team. And then the other 2 identical frames of the kill team here. So we'll take a close look at those when we unbox everything. We have the Geomancer, who's all on her own sprue, so we'll probably see a solo release for her for Necrons at some point. I keep saying her, she was mentioned as a her in the reveal stream, and I believe kind of lore-wise, she's was a female in her past life. We've got our full set here of our other Tomb World. We've got all the Reanimator and Warrior drones there. And we've got the crawlers there. Finally then, we got the bog standard push fit Necron Warriors. I've got plenty of these. I in fact have 2 sets of this sprue still unbuilt, as I've got more than enough warriors for my Necrons as is. And the remainder of the terrain is going to be all of these terrain pieces. So we got 2 frames, looks like it, with the warriors inlaid in the wall plus a door. We got 2 frames here of double walls, one which is breached, which has a replacement panel to put in, one of a door, and we've got an end cap with a Necron warrior here. We got this cool energy field door as well. And we got another set of duplicates, is it? Yes, it is. Turn it that way around, it is. And again, more end caps and walls, breaching sections, small walls, or double pillars anyway. Yeah, so 6 frames in total of terrain, 3 different styles. Pretty cool. That's our playboard there. We have our dossier, data cards and the like in there. And finally we got our bases, so 32 and 40mm bases there. 32mm hex holes, that's for the warriors. And finally the larger bases, these are 50mm, so that's for our Geomancer and our 2 tomb crawlers. Right then, that's that out of the way. Let's zoom in, we'll take a closer look at the frames and go through the dossier, etc. as well. One thing I want to show is everything on the side. So we've got warrior drones, reanimator drones, which have the reanimator beam on top, tomb crawlers, the Geomancer, and then again the different other drones. And on the other side we've got our Deathwatch veterans, so an Aegis, a Breacher, Gunner, Blade Master, Disruptor, Headtaker, Marksman, Sergeant, Bombard, and Demolisher. And there is a third Gravis option, which is the Horde Slayer. Might not be useful for kill team against Necrons, as it's not very hoardy. And the sides just show the front cover artwork, which is pretty cool. So we'll go through each of the kill teams in, well, no particular order, but we'll start with the Necrons, as I love those guys the most, I think. Although it's kind of hard between them and Deathwatch. Then we'll look at the terrain, and then we'll look at all of our paperwork and such. So we'll kick things off the MPOs. We've seen these guys a million times before. It's the bog standard Necron warriors that came from the Indomitus starter set. Push fit guys, 2 weapon options, the Gauze Flayer or the Gauze Reaper. Then we got our scarabs, little floating critters that skitter across the ground and repair and devour. So yeah, pretty much standard. We'll put those off to the side. Next we got our new Necron stuff. So this is the main bulk of the team. We've got the 2 crawlers, which come with, I believe it's 2 different weapons. You've got a disintegrator ray, or else you've got the Gauze Destructors as well. So yeah, lots of different options for these guys. Then we've got our drones. So we've got our Reanimator, who is kind of hard to tell because they're all similarly built. There's the Reanimator's sort of spinal column. But yeah, they're all kind of the same sort of 2 halves, a top and a spinal piece. Yeah, all different components to build up our drones. So they all look pretty cool anyway. These are our basic troopers for the unit. And they're pretty cool. They're designed to be expendable. So get them killed and you can reanimate them, which is pretty cool. And yeah, these guys are our tanky units with the bigger guns, which are pretty awesome as well. Next up then, we got the new Geomancer. So she is a pretty cool Necron character. Cryptek class character. She's a shaper of structures and masonry and such. So she's basically in charge of keeping the tomb world together. If parts start crumbling, she's there to repair it, basically. And yeah, she's got this awesome serpentine body, which, yeah, it looks very fragile. And the connection points are very small. Going to be a very delicate build, this one is. And then I think the main event for a lot of us is the new Deathwatch Veterans sprue. So this is a pretty chock-a-block sprue, and while we only get 5 guys per frame, with each of the 2 frames being identical, we do get a whole host of additional pieces. So first off, we got shoulder pads. We got Reaver shoulder pads, Gravis pads, and there's the, if I can see them, there, sort of scattered around, the Deathwatch Tacticus pads. And we got there's at least 3 blank pads for the Tacticus, a couple for the Gravis, and a couple for the Phobos if you want to do your own transfers. We got Iron Skulls or Mortifactors. They both have a similar sort of skull insignia. We got the Exorcists, who are very psycho heavy, so they have the Librarius skull with horns as the chapter symbol. Wolf Spear. I won't go through all of them. There's loads of different chapters on here. And we also get loads of different heads. So really cool looking bear heads. Nice helmet heads. You've got Gravis, Tacticus, etc. there as well. So yeah, different heads from many different chapters. Same for the shoulder pads. I will say, kind of weird putting a stealthy chapter as a Gravis pad, and then a non-stealthy chapter in the form of the Brazen Minotaurs as a Phobos pad. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm glad I got the old Deathwatch kit with the Tacticus styled Brazen Minotaurs. So I'm definitely going to be building one of my guys as a Brazen Minotaur. And we've got some more heads. We've got this awesome robed head here, so it could be either a Dark Angel or even a Raven Guard. We've got a nice sort of General Kenobi beard and short head with a bionic eye there, so a nice Imperial fist. Yeah, loads of really cool long flowing locks for a Blood Angel here. Yeah, these guys are going to be really difficult to decide which ones I'm going to build. I've got a feeling I'm going to be keeping some heads for other projects, especially the Blood Angel ones. I think I might be keeping those for my Blood Angel project. But yeah, 2 sets of this in the set, and it's a really cool frame. Finally then we got the terrain. So first off we got these big long panels of walls. So we've got this awesome cool one with the Necrons in like the pair bays. We've got this door here which has one or two options. And then they sort of just sandwich together, I think it is. Or at least you got these bits that go over there and on the ends. So you've got A's and B's, so they belong to a specific end, looks like it. But these look like really awesome terrain pieces. Made of the thicker, harder Chinese style plastic that's made of, because if you saw this in a video mentioned that this is the stuff that's produced in the UK. It's a lighter type of plastic, and then the terrain is often done in China, which is this darker sort of plastic, and stuff's falling over. Yeah, definitely going to be a good stuff to build, really durable stuff as well, and I've seen it slot together. It slots together really easy. I will probably do some videos once it's all assembled and stuff as well, follow on from this. Yeah, you've got the end caps here, which you can just use on walls that end in nothing, which is pretty cool. And again, you've got like ones which are just end caps, or you've got the ones of the Necrons in their stasis bays. Got these energy fields, they're going to be pretty cool to paint. And then we have the short wall sections. They look pretty cool as well. And yeah, there's going to be some nice ways you can put all this together. So there's that. And finally, we got the kill zone sort of accessory sprue. So we got the crypt here, which looks really awesome with the asleep Necron Lord. And I believe this same crypt is going to be used in the missions where we have the Nightbringer. Where we're trying to awaken the Nightbringer from his stasis. But yeah, really cool. Nice bits of scatter terrain and these awesome teleportation pads. Right, so that's all the different frames. Let's bring in the board quickly and then we'll look through our book and cards, etc. So this is the board then for the kill team. See if I can open this without tearing things to pieces. Yay! So I won't unfold it all because it'll take up quite a bit of space, but I will take a photo and throw it on later on in post. But yeah, we've got this really cool Necron style sort of base. Looks really, really cool. You've got additional sort of teleportation pads sort of built into the terrain, venting, and little scarabs in the floors and all sorts. All in all, looks really, really cool. Yeah, can't wait to play some games on this. So there's that. All that's left then is our dossier, instructions, etc. So let's crack this open. So we got our dossier, all our tokens, our A5 build guide, and then we got all of our card packs as well. If I can get them out. So the 2 for the kill team and 1 for the kill zone. So the kill zone cards are not that many, if I can even open them. We have the MPO stats, which I believe are for the crawlers, the macrosites, and the Necron warriors there, as well as the scarab swarms. So we've got double sides for a lot of these guys. And then we've got the event cards here. So these all interact with the terrain and scenery. So all in all, pretty cool. We've got our Death Watch cards here. So as usual for a kill team, we get a lot of the universal stuff in here. We then get our different warrior data cards. We get our kill team formation card. We get our faction rules, faction equipment, and then we get our strategic ploys, firefight ploys, and as I mentioned, the universal stuff. And then we get the same for the Necrons. So again, a lot of universal stuff. We get all the different cards. There's actually 3 for the Geomancer, as there is so much for her to be able to do. So we've got all her attacks there. And then we got all her different special abilities that she can do as an action throughout her turn. We get the Tomb Crawlers, the Macrosite Warriors, the Macrosite Accelerator, which is another different unit, and a Macrosite Reanimator. So we have the kill team formation here. So the Geomancer, 2 Crawlers, 1 with Claws and Gorge Reapers, 1 with Transdimensional Isolator and Claws, 1 Accelerator, 1 Reanimator, and then 3 Warriors. And they can select any of the following. So Gal's Scalpel, Claws and Tail, and a Tesla Caster with Claws and Tail. Kill team can include up to 1 Transdimensional Isolator. So this is the beam that sends your opponent to a different dimension. We then got our faction rules. So the Obelisk Node Matrix. So basically we're trying to set up the Obelisk nodes and reactivate the Tomb World. We've got our equipment here, we've got our strategic ploys, firefight ploys, our tokens, as well as the matrix node template. And then again, universal. Alright, we'll take a look at this in a sec, because that's kind of the more important and fun piece. So we've got all our tokens. So there's the reanimation node. We've got all the different tokens here for our different kill team members, base sizes as well. Action points, pluses, and on the reverse we'll have minuses. Your different kill team activation markers there. And we got different bits for the Death Watch, so digital weapons, special issue ammunition, refill cache, mines, sensors, grenades, and servo skulls. And then we've got some more universal sort of equipment tokens up here. These are Death Watch specific, looks like it. Yeah, all in all, looking pretty cool. Nice set of tokens for us to use. And this is going to be the most important thing you'll want. It's the kill team dossier. So I won't go through it fully, but we have our lore at the front, what the kill teams are, who they do, the planet we're fighting over. Then we go into section 2, the actual kill teams. So we look at the Death Watch operatives, the Synoptic Circle and their operatives. Then we've got the kill team rules. So again, all our data sheets and such here. So how to use the teleporter pads, so how to use our terrain and such, which I believe is stage 4, so this is missions. So how does the kill zone works, how your terrain and such will affect line of sight, access points, etc. Again, how to work on breaching walls, how to use your teleporters and the debris. Then we got our setups, so close quarters Tomb World, we have this sort of setup here. Then we got the joint ops mission pack here. So we've got different threat levels, depending on how many enemies will eventually turn up for each. There we go, that's all our MPOs, MPO data cards there. Then we've got all our different joint ops missions, which you can play through as sort of a story mode if you want. Adversary ops for missions, and then we got our different mission maps, and again our terrain markers. And a little fold out section which has a key on what goes where on the map. So there we go, pretty cool looking book. Gonna have a lot of fun reading through this. I think it's definitely one you want to read through. As I said, there's nice new lore, all your rules for how your kill zones operate, etc. So it's a very important piece to go through. And finally then, of course, we have our instructions. So not full colour, sadly, just your standard black and white instructions. Goes through all your frames, your different war gear options for your different models. So all our different heads and shoulder pads. So we get all of these for our Tacticus, all of these for our Gravis, and all of these for our Reavers. Or Phobos, should I say. And we have all different heads which can be used on any of the different torsos. So it shows you how to build, I believe, a specific kill team, which if you read through the lore, I think it shows the story of. So the Watch Sergeant comes from the Revelers, which is a White Scar successor. You've got the Wolf Spear with Thunder Hammer. You've got a Red Scorpion with a Storm Shield. You got... kind of hard to tell what that one is there. That's the size of the Emperor. Yeah, and we got like Gravis dudes. So, like I said, you got two different heavy guns, or else you got the more standard issue sort of bolt rifle. And you got different shoulder pads again. So Salamanders, Imperial Fists, Raven Guard. Our Phobos guys here. So an Ultramarine, and I'm not too sure if that's supposed to be Brazen Minotaurs or Raptors. I think it's Raptors. Yeah, Raptors by the paint scheme there. So yeah, Mortar Factors looks like the Plasma guy is. So that's your basic kill team that I think the story mode sort of follows. And then you can got the optional extra guys, which are like the cleanup crew that come in afterwards. Then we've got all our different weapons for our Necrons. So our Geomancer, how she goes together. So glue this, I'd suggest first, and let it dry fully, and then attach the rest of your components on afterwards. Then we've got the Crawlers, which again have very low contact points. They have got two slightly larger areas, so they should connect a little bit better. And each one's a slightly different posing, which is pretty cool. Then we got our macrocytes here, so our warriors. So choose the variant you want to build. So you need at least one reanimator for your force and one accelerator. Then the rest can be built as warriors. So we've got the Gauss Scalpel or the Tesla weapon there. So since you only get 3 warriors, it might be good to have all the same or have a mix, whichever you prefer. I know usually Tesla weapons aren't the best. They don't have as much AP as Gauss weapons, but they do get more shots. So yeah, there's our team built and painted. Now on to our terrain. So you just want to cut everything out, clean it. Glue only sort of like the pillars into sections. Don't want to glue your breaching walls and doors. These just lock in and you can punch them out as and when you need to. So put them in for the purpose of spraying so that you keep clear contact points. And then it'll get a lot easier for in your games. And yeah, you don't then have these sections here to build up, which add different corner caps and allow you to extend the walls and add in certain configurations. And these just simply slot on top. Don't want to glue anything down. Then we got our crypt and teleport pads plus our debris, and then instructions for the warriors. So yeah, these guys I won't be building. I've got plenty in my own collection to use. And there we have it. So right, I'll bring everything back in. I'll give you my final thoughts as well as what I paid for this and the going RRP. So here we are. This is the full contents then, now that we've gone through it all. A bit more up. There we go, you can see everything now. So yeah, it's a great box. Fantastic new Death Watch. They've really outdone themselves with these guys. The Necrons on the other hand is pretty cool. I do love the reanimator drones. Very fitting for the Necrons to have a team for them. The Canoptek Crawlers are pretty cool as well. Different weapon options again for them, and very different to the drones. The Geomancer is a really awesome model. I love the Technomancers as they are, the Cryptex. Each one is a nice, unique, different way of going to war, basically. The perfect advisors to the Necron Overlord. I do like the fact that the reanimator drones are very reminiscent to the old Builder Scarabs from Dawn of War. So yeah, they're pretty cool. Do have a bit of a nice archaic sort of feel to them. Each one is a nicely different pose as well, so they're not all identical. The Necron Warrior is a nice added bonus. I've got plenty, so maybe not necessarily needed for me. Maybe I'll sell them, I haven't decided yet, but they are kind of the dime a dozen, so they're not the hardest thing to find. I might keep them in case I ever need to bump up to 100 Necron Warriors. Mind you, there used to be a time when 100 Necron Warriors was the army standard. And a monolith, of course. Yeah, we get a really cool dossier. This is definitely going to shake things up. Nice change to indoor fights with the new Necron terrain. I've seen a lot of videos on it. It does go together a lot easier, as I've mentioned before, than the Galadark stuff. That stuff was notorious for how it went together. This stuff definitely goes together easier, looks better as well, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to painting it. Some really nice mix of textures there with the sort of the sandstone plaster, the Necron metallics and Necron Necrodermis stuff underneath that as well. Plus you got the racks of restoring Necron warriors, which is also pretty cool. Other accessories then, awesome Necron Tomb World board, all the tokens for both kill teams, plus all your cards and the bonus cards needed to play the Tomb World events for the NPO missions, or kill ops, I think it's called properly. All in all, great set. So, would I recommend this for someone looking to get into one particular team? No, wouldn't. If you're looking to get into one particular team, I'd suggest waiting for that particular team to come out on its own. Or if you really wanted to go in halves with someone on the whole box, maybe split the terrain, so you each have half of the terrain set each, which will be easy, seeing as you get 2 sets of the 3 walls. So yeah, maybe split it with somebody if you want. But yeah, if you're after a single individual team, maybe check eBay for people selling it separately, though you are going to pay a little bit more than you would if you wait for the actual release on the kill team. Would I recommend this for somebody who's looking for the narrative aspect of the game? Yes, I would. Space Marines vs. Necrons is a very brilliant narrative. One of my favourite things to read / listen to when it comes to books. I also love playing it. If I end up playing Dawn of War, I love going up against the Necrons. They're a very awesome army. You think you have them beat, then suddenly the Lord comes along with his resurrection orb, cracks it into the ground, and everybody gets back up again. I just love that aspect of the Necrons. The kill team is nice and elite. Every operative feels like he fills a specific role. There's not really many overlays. Probably the Phobos bolter and the Marksman bolter might be a bit of an overlay, though the Phobos guy does have the Omni Scramblers, which gives him some better rules than the Marksman does. Head Taker is a nice one. The Gravis, you've got 3 different options. You've got one that will take down armies that have lots of operatives. So think Veteran Guardsmen, Traitor Guard, Beastmen Ravagers, and Genes of the Cults. You've got one that's more specialised for heavier forces in the form of the Frag Cannon. So yeah, he's pretty good. And then you've got the Breacher guy, who carries your melter bombs and has a grenade launcher. He's pretty good against a nice mixture of things. Probably one of my favourite models actually out of it. I think mainly because it's shown as an Imperial Fist. But I'll be definitely building and painting mine as a Crimson Fist. Finally then, yeah, I said we got the cards, your dossier and your instructions, so all your necessary paperwork to get you going. And yeah, I would recommend this for a narrative point of view. And I'd also recommend it if you're the person looking to keep up to date with all the latest dossiers and expansions to Kill Team. So this is going to be very important if you're wanting to keep up to date with your different map layouts and play styles, as it brings a brand new sort of way to play your boarding patrol sort of games with the Necron terrain in the Tomb World. It's really cool. So finally then, looking at prices and ratings. So pricing for the RRP of this, retailing at £155. It's a hefty box, but when you factor in the terrain, which usually goes for £90 to £100 on the web store, you get 2 kill teams effectively with the Death Watch, 2 sets of 5, you get 1 kill team here, so effectively you're getting 3 kill teams, which again roughly retail for between £30 and £40. You get your bonus Necron Warriors for kill ops. It's a pretty good value. I would recommend heavily though, go for third-party retailers. I picked mine up from Disc Games through warbay.shop, where I paid $124 for it. Definitely a easier price to handle than the $155. So yeah, check into options, check your local stockists. I know this has recently come back into stock on Games Workshop, so other stockists might be getting new stock, so just keep an eye out. Rating for this then is going to be, 10 out of 10. This is a great set. I can't fault it. I've been wanting sort of Necron Tomb World terrain for a while, and I've definitely been wanting updated Death Watch. The Necron kill team is a little let down, but I do like it that they're focusing on the Canoptic constructs a lot, and it fits the setting, seeing as these guys are guarding the Tomb World, so this is the stuff you're going to interact with. Maybe a Tomb Spider as well, if you're unlucky. But yeah, I really do love this box. Very fitting and very thematic and narrative-driven style to the set. So looking forward to this. Really kind of sad they didn't do a book at the same time. Would have been nice to have even a short story or short novella with this release. Would have been pretty cool. But yeah, there's information in the dossier that sort of gives you the story on the 2 Death Watch teams. There's one team that sort of goes in, almost gets wiped out, and then another team that comes in to rescue the survivors and set the bombs to detonate the Tomb World. It's pretty cool. But yeah, as I said, there we have it. That's everything from the new Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team Tomb World set. A fantastic set. Highly recommend it if you can find it in stock and at a discount. And all that's left for me to do is to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time for another Mad Merlins unboxing. Goodbye.